here.
And I told you the Tidyverse is a meta package. It is a package that contains many other packages. Yeah, and maybe you can just revisit a little bit. It makes no harm. Let's see. Working with the Tidyverse. So, and we know that Tidyverse is a meta package that has many other packages inside. So once you load the Tidyverse, so you're loading like 10 packages at a go.
Yeah.
So you can just try that. So just in case it is not installed, you know how to install it. It is install.packages. Tidyverse.
Yeah.
In my case, it is already installed, so I don't have to install it.
Yeah.
Another, I want us to also install for this lesson, let us install a package called Gapminder. This is the name of that package, Gapminder. Can you install it just for exercise?
Yeah, let me. Okay, so I tried to do install Tidyverse again. It says R tools is required to build R packages, but it's not currently installed. Please download and install. Oh, that is what it means.
Is it installed already on your system?
I thought so, but let me just check.
Click on library Tidyverse. Type library Tidyverse and see what it is, yeah? Because our tools will take us a lot of time to install.
Oh.
Yeah.
It takes time, eh?
Yeah, it takes time. It's a large document. Maybe you will install it later.
Yeah,
just try library Tidyverse. Then it should load something.
Yeah, it's loading some packages.
Oh, that's great. Let's deal with R tools later.
Okay.
Yeah. Then install this package called Gapminder and load it.
Okay. Install. Yes. Gapminder.
And remember, you only need to install it once, so you don't need to. Once you install it once, that is it.
Successfully unpacked. Successfully unpacked. SMS, whatever checked. I think it's installed.
It's installed now. Then you can load it using library.
Yeah.
So we are going to look at these functions that I'm typing here. Select, filter, summarize, arrange, and group by. These are the 5 major verbs in the Tidyverse. Then we are also going to look at the pipe. Remember, like we said, you can always put the 4 dashes to delineate your work. Yeah. Maybe you can just put it this way. Just a shortcut so that we load the data. This is how you load that data, Gapminder.
The two columns need to be close to each other, or there can be space.
Yes.
Should there be any space between the two columns?
No.
No space.
Yeah.
And no
Actually,
space between them and the Gapminder.
Yeah, it should be just one word together. Those two columns should be together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, done.
And you see at the environment, now you have a data set.
So what does that do?
It just loads the data set called Gapminder.
It assigns the data set to this Gapminder.
Yeah, we have just created a variable called Gapminder. We could call it any other name.
Yeah.
Then we have told it to go to the package called Gapminder and get that data set called Gapminder inside of the Gapminder package.
Yeah.
So this name here, we can give it any other name. The name on the left, you can have any other name there. But for convenience, I've just called it Gapminder.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we can explore the data, just like we were doing last time, you remember?
Yeah.
You can look at the head so that you see what the data is about.
Yeah. Gapminder. So yeah, I see plenty of stuff. Afghanistan, Asia.
Yeah, it's data about countries, continent, the year, and I think the population. If you want to see all the names in this, whatever, you can use the names function. In my case, it is not fitting on the screen. You can see when you use the names function, you can see all the variables. So we have country, which continent is it located, the year, the life expectancy, the population, and the GDP per capita for that country. Basically, this is a panel data set about countries. I think it is from the World Bank or something. I think from the 1950s up to around 1990. So to see what is at the bottom, you can use tail.
Okay, wait. Let me just, there's a little mistake that I've made here. Okay. So I'm just trying to, okay, so I see country, continent, year, life expectancy, population, and GDP per capita.
GDP per capita.
Yeah. Yeah, at the tail I see Zimbabwe and Africa.
The Zimbabwe is the one at the very bottom. Remember the structure command?
Yeah.
It's very useful so that you can see the kind of data you have, whether it is numeric, integer, character, and so on. For example, country, you can see already a factor with 142 levels.
Yeah.
So basically, we have 142 countries in this data set.
So, okay, yeah. I was watching the video on factors, but just remind me, what does factors mean? Is a factor variable?
Is a factor variable.
Okay.
Basically, we have countries, but they are encoded as factors.
Oh, yeah.
So they have been given codes, unique codes. Each country has a unique code, meaning that we have 142 countries in this data set.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll be looking at factors. I'm sure we'll look at factors because they are very, very important. How to convert something into a factor, a variable into a factor, and so on.
Yeah, the video that I
Basically,
was
there's a
watching
factor.
moved very fast,
Yeah.
so I didn't get much.
Yeah. So supposing you want to know how many rows we have, how many columns,
So is it rows?
just try to recall. I think it's n row. Let's just remind. N row.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Gapminder.
Yeah.
Do the same for columns.
So that should be
It's the same structure.
n col.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I see we have 17
Just a matter of
rows.
practicing, then you'll be able to get that.
Yeah. N columns, we have 6 columns and 1704 rows.
Yeah. Then we want to see what kind of data do we have. We have a function called class. What sort of data is this? Class of Gapminder. Then it tells you it is a data frame or a table data frame. We'll be looking at these ones much later, but basically it is like an Excel sheet with rows and columns. That's what they call a data frame.
Oh.
Yes. So class will tell you the type of data or the type of variable it is. So for example, you can look at class Gapminder, then specifically we go to country.
Yeah.
Remember this notation? Gapminder $ country. You're telling it go to Gapminder, grab the country data, country variable. What type is it?
Yeah.
It's telling you it is
the factor.
Is a factor.
Yeah.
So you can do that with any other variable if you want to know what type it is. But already, structure will have told you that already. So anyway, it's just a matter of learning more functions. Structure already tells you what type of variable it is.
Yeah.
It's just trying to move a little bit. Subsetting data frames. This is something that we are getting back to. This time, I want us to subset it using the old way. Remember we said we have R has two variants. The base R is the one that comes with R once you download it immediately. Then we have add-ins. the packages that you add. And one of the most significant packages is the Tidyverse, because it has its own, a little bit different language. It is a bit different from the base language.
Okay.
So I want us to subset this data set. We can look at, for example, Kenya, the data for Kenya. You see, we have 1,704 rows of 142 countries.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not interested in all of them. You want a few countries, maybe a country like Kenya.
Yeah.
So how would you subset it using the odd R way? So that now we can introduce what we call the filter function. So let us start with the base R way of filtering data for Kenya. We know Kenya is saved somewhere in the variable country, because if you look at country, you can just double click on this. We forgot to view our data. Capital V, view.
Yeah. You didn't spell incorrectly.
Mine is not opening properly. I don't know what's up.
Yeah, mine is opening.
It is opening. You can see the structure of the data. Yeah? It is country, a list of countries, a list of years, and so on.
Yeah.
So supposing we want to subset for Kenya the old way, we did it like that: gap minor, square brackets. I'm sure you remember that square brackets. They were very prominent. Then you say, what do you want inside here? You want which rows? You want gap minder, $, is equals to Kenya. And can you see I'm using double equal sign?
Yeah. Okay.
In R, equality is denoted by double equal sign.
Yeah.
One equal sign is for assignment. It is for assigning a variable to an object. So if you want equality, it is equals equals.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the old way of, this is what we learned, not very comprehensive, but this is how you would subset your data so that now you have data for Kenya only. And can you see it? It should appear on your screen.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So we are telling it, go to each row where there is country and select Kenya. Remember we said inside the square brackets, you start with rows, then columns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we are telling it for the rows, we want rows where country is equals to Kenya, then give us all the columns. Maybe you will need to revisit that lecture by that guy from the UK. Is it Heffin? He covers it very well, how to subset your data.
Yeah, but I can also go back to the notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got the notes well kept.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now we use the Tidyverse way.
Yes, we are going to do the same thing using the Tidyverse. People say it is much simpler, but it is up to you now to judge to see whether it works, whether it is simpler. Which approach would you want to follow?
Yeah.
And the filter function is the one that is used for selecting rows.
Okay.
And this is what it does. You simply just say filter.
Yeah.
You give it the data you want. You want to filter Gapminder. Is that right? Then you say country. You want to filter it by country. Country is equals to, remember, equality in R is double equal sign. So which one do you think is simpler, the first way or the second way? Both of them will give you the same answer.
I think this filter one looks simpler.
It looks more intuitive. It is something you don't have to struggle a lot to remember.
Yeah.
Filter, what do you want to filter? Gapminder. How do you want to filter it?
Yeah.
I want you to go to that Gapminder. Country is Kenya, or country is any other thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
So can we try doing it?
Looks easier for me.
Let's do it the same way using the old way. Let us select for the year 2007 in Gapminder, the old way and the new way. Year is 2007.
Year is
We want to select,
2007.
yes, using both techniques. It should be something very similar to what we have done already. What is changing is just the year, I think.
So we use the base R.
Yeah, using the base R, it should be very similar to what we have already done. Like this,
So,
Gapminder, square brackets,
Gapminder.
Gapminder into year.
Year is equal to 2007.
Then give us all columns, or you can select the columns you want, but in this case, let us have everything for 2007.
Yeah. Yeah, so I see all countries there. 132 rows plus 10, 142 rows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you try doing it the Tidyverse way?
Yeah. Same result.
Is it the same result? Gapminder year is equals. This is something that I still struggle with today, remembering that it is double equal sign.
Yeah. No, I think I like this. The filter
year is 2007. Sorry, I just wrote it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Year is 2007.
But you need to put the inverted commas
for 207.
Yeah.
You don't have to, because it is an integer. If you check at the year, if you look at the year column, it is an integer, it is a number.
So I don't have to
for
put
numbers,
the commas.
You don't have to. I don't know how it will operate if you put them. Yeah, still it is working. Yeah, it's working. I've never thought about it that way. Yeah, but if it is an integer, you can always leave it out. Yeah, but if it is a character, you must put those whatever.
Yeah, points.
Maybe we can have a last exercise. We want to select Gapminder year 2007. And continent is Africa.
Gapminder year 2007.
Continent is Africa. So here we are using the logical operations the same way.
Okay. So
the old way and the new way.
So when you're using the filter command, do you put the comma?
Down here.
So
we are just going to use the logical characters and because we want year is 2007 and continent is.
You need a comma. That was what I was asking.
For this operation we are doing here.
It's just the end, yeah.
It's just the end.
And the end is in uppercase?
No, it is the ampersand, the sign.
Oh.
Remember, it is double equal sign. And is the ampersand.
Yeah.
Continent is equals to Africa.
Okay.
We can do the same here for Gapminder. For the odd way will work the same way. We'll just add an add here and say Gapminder continent. Can just put it down here. Is equals to so it will work the same way. We have just added an and here. Gapminder continent is equals to Africa. But I'm sure you can see the Tidyverse way looks more cleaner and something you can remember much more easily. Hello?
Yes, I'm typing.
Yeah, okay.
I'm typing. Just give me a moment. So Gapminder continent.
Yeah.
Equal to Africa.
Yeah. Then a comma. Remember that comma with nothing before means nothing after means all the columns. We want all the columns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've made a mistake, but let me just check.
Right, there should be a small comma missing somewhere. Or a space cannot give you a problem. Maybe it is a comma, a quotation mark. Maybe you didn't close the square brackets or something like that.
Oh, let me. So I've got Gapminder. I see. I'm supposed to use square brackets.
Yes, at the beginning and the end.
But I used the usual brackets.
Oh, no. Remember for subsetting, you use square brackets always. Except now for the Tidyverse. For the Tidyverse, you use the normal brackets.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Tidyverse, you use the normal brackets. But base R, you use square brackets to...
Yeah. That was the mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I've just taken note again.
Yeah.
No, but
Maybe you need
I'll be using filter. It's easier.
Yeah.
Because it's
It
also
is.
consistent with the Excel filter, because I
It
use
is.
filter in Excel.
Yeah. It is looks very, very nice. I use it all the time, but anyway, when I started learning, I was taught the base R way. So,
Oh,
but it's good to know both because sometimes you may encounter scenarios where you have no access to the Tidyverse or something. You want to do something quickly.
yeah.
Now we go to selecting column. Remember, sometimes you have a huge data set that like has 100 columns.
Mm,
You want a few of them to work with.
yeah.
So here, let's select country, continent, and year only. Maybe this is what we are interested in. How do you do it the base R way?
Give me a moment. Select country, continent, yeah.
Or maybe we
So,
can start the simple one. Let us just select country. We want country only.
okay.
Yeah, so that we can go adding the variables as we move up.
So let me lead that. So you're going to have Gapminder, Gapminder, square brackets now, Gapminder again, dollar sign. We're starting with country, yeah?
Yeah.
Country is equal to Kenya.
So in this case, we just want columns. We don't care about which country they are coming from. We just want the country column alone. We are not interested in the other variables.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's just don't say anything yet.
Yeah.
I want to check. Oh yeah, because countries are listed as columns.
Yes. We just want that. Maybe we just want to pull that country and do something with it. You are not interested in the other variables, maybe.
Okay. So can we just, it's columns. So I think you need to start that with a space and then comma
Yeah.
and then close. No. So
Something you're almost there now because you have talked about that comma. That is what people forget most of the time. You remember you start with rows. In this case, we want all rows for the country.
Yeah, so I just created a space.
That's why you are starting with a comma.
Do you start with a comma or a space?
R doesn't care about spaces, so whatever. Remember, we said spaces don't matter to R. You can always start with a comma.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's tricky. Don't worry. Don't struggle a lot. It took me a long time to get it properly. So maybe I can just give you a hint for this one, then try the next one.
okay.
Yeah.
So Gapminder, okay, comma. Oh, really?
Yeah.
You see why I'm getting confused, eh?
Yeah.
In the first one that we did, where we're choosing rows,
Yeah.
inside that bracket, we have got Gapminder, dollar year.
Yeah.
So I thought we need also to start with gapminder dollar country.
No. But let's go back a little bit.
Hmm.
Do you see this first one where you are selecting Kenya?
Yeah.
Where we need gapminder dollar country.
Mm-hmm.
We can always remove this dollar and put square brackets again. You see?
Yeah.
Put a comma here and do it this way. It will work the same way. You see that?
Yeah. But that's okay.
Yeah, but it is too complex. We said when you are selecting columns now directly, you had rather just use a dollar sign.
But that's columns.
Yeah.
So looking at gapminder.
But even here, we have a shorter way of doing it. If you want to do just a shorter route, you can just do it this way.
I think I'm more comfortable with this one.
With this one. Yeah.
So let me.
I get what you are saying now. You can say gapminder without the square brackets. Dollar sign country, then it gives you what you want. The problem comes when you want like 3 variables.
Oh.
It becomes problematic now. So,
But
the second one becomes easier.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, you'll get it over time. Let's do it the Tidyverse way. This is much more fun. You use select. The select function is used for selecting columns. Much easier. This one you don't struggle to remember. For picking. So you can see select, you are selecting from gapminder, is it? Then what are you selecting? Country. The good thing, you don't even have to put quotation marks or anything. It just works.
Okay, let me just select. Okay. But I was still taking notes there.
Okay.
Using the Tidyverse approach. So select. So it's gapminder.
That is a data set.
Yeah. No commas.
There's a comma after gapminder.
No, sorry, no inverted commas.
No inverted commas. That's a good thing with the Tidyverse. You don't need to put them. Unless it is a case of filtering something that is inside the whatever. But if it is a column, you don't have to put quotation marks. Yeah.
So if I want to choose all the 3 columns, let me try.
Yeah, you just put commas and add the additional columns.
Okay.
So once you write it this way, the Tidyverse already knows you want columns, so you don't have to put them in quotation marks.
Yeah.
But when you are filtering, it is a bit different. You see, country is still not in quotation marks. But when you are specifying which country, because this is something that is inside the column, you have to put it in quotation marks.
Okay.
That is something that is inside those columns, so you need to put it in quotation marks. But the column variables don't need quotations.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you can't use this select function for choosing rows?
No.
Okay.
This is for simply picking columns. You cannot use filter to select columns. This one is only for filtering rows.
Yeah.
That meet a certain criteria. So usually you'll combine the two of them you select certain columns, then you filter them, then you're left with the data that you want. So up here, let's select year, country, and year.
I've done that already.
For the old way.
No, using select. Oh, the old way, not yet.
Old way, this way. It's good to also get familiar with it. Over time, you'll get it.
Yeah.
There. So it simply picks country and year. Of course, for up here, it is very easy. Copy. I can just copy and paste this one. Country, year. So it is much simpler to do it using the select function. It's much, much simpler. Then we have the arrange. This one should be very easy.
Just a moment. A moment. Just taking notes again.
Okay. By the way,
yeah.
For me, this was very confusing. I have only come to get it very recently. This setting is not easy. Especially the old way was very confusing. I have struggled with it for a long time.
You have to use the C.
Yes.
Is that C for function or for column?
That is a function C for combine. The C that we learned at the beginning of the lectures.
Yeah.
Is for combining them.
All right. Okay, then we use arrange now.
Arrange is for sorting data. If you want to sort your data maybe by year, by population, by whatever, maybe in this case we want to sort our country, our data using population. We have population. Again, you give it the data set, then the variable you want to sort by.
Yeah.
Very easy. So if you look at your data, you should see we are coming from the smallest country to the biggest. Sao Tome and Principe, Djibouti. Can you see that? So it is arranged in order of country populations.
But I see that it's arranging in ascending order.
In ascending order, yes.
So you want to reverse that?
You want to reverse that? It's the same thing. You say gapminder. Then instead of just giving it the population, you specify this descending. It is a function called descending.
Okay.
Then you wrap your population inside that descending. Then you should see China come up now.
Correct.
Yeah. I was trying to do this using the base R, and you can always add other variables, remember. You can arrange it by population, then by year. Just add the variables there.
Yeah.
So it becomes very, very easy to sort it out the R way. I don't seem to remember the base R way.
Okay.
It was a very funny one. Gapminder. I think order. Yes, it was like that. That is how to order it by population. A very messy way.
Let me just check that. The base
Yeah.
So it's Gapminder.
The order function is the one that's used for voting.
Okay.
But for now, you had rather just get comfortable with the Tidyverse because the Tidyverse will do everything you want to do. Then you will get this base R way slowly. The Tidyverse is much, much more friendly.
I think I used base before.
Yes?
But not on Tidyverse.
Which one?
The summarize command.
Yeah, what we used before was summary.
Oh, okay.
That is a base R function.
Okay.
It gives you a summary of your data set. For example, here we can say summary Gapminder. Then it will give you for every variable a summary. But in our case, we want to look at summarize.
Yeah.
It is used for summarizing data. And you can write it either way, American way or the UK way.
Okay, because I prefer
for the whole of the Tidyverse, you can always use both.
Okay.
It doesn't matter whether you use Z or S. Both of them will work. Yes.
Okay.
So let us, for example, say we want to summarize our data. We want to summarize population. We want to see the total population that is listed in our data, just for simplicity. How much is the total population listed in our data set? We can just say summarize.
So is it summarize Gapminder, comma POP?
Gapminder. Maybe we want, let us give it a name. Let us call it total is equals to the sum. You see, we want to summarize our data and create a new variable that is a summary of that data.
Yeah.
In this case, we want a new variable called total, which is the sum of population. So what is total here is a new variable we are creating. Then by adding up all the population that is in there,
I think it should have two equal signs.
No, in this case, it should just be one.
One?
Yeah, because this is like an assignment. What we are doing is, it is an assignment we are doing. Okay. We are giving this new variable, total. It is the sum of the population. It is not an equality sign. We are creating a new variable. Just look at the screen here. We have a new variable called total, which we have assigned the sum of population. So again, that is something that may confuse you. It is one equal sign because it is an assignment. Alternatively, you don't even have to put this one. You can just say that Gapminder, then sum of the population. So it is going to go to Gapminder, go to population and add them up.
Okay.
You can do the same, summarize Gapminder, minimum of the population. You see that? And you can always add many of them.
Yeah.
You can see mean population. Then we say SD population. I'm using population because it is the one that has things that we can summarize. Of course, we can't summarize qualitative variables.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just in case you want to give them a name, then you can always type it here. Here you can see it is a mean population is equals to like that. So that we have a mean, your variables have a meaningful name. So by summarizing, you are creating new variables. And that is why we use one equal sign to assign. Here you can say it is mean pop. Here you can say it is total pop. Here you can see it is SD pop. Do you see the reason why it is an assignment? It is not an equality sign.
Yeah.
We are simply creating a new variable called mean pop and giving it that mean of the population.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah. So you can get your data and summarize it. Whichever way, create new variables.
Yeah.
As you go. There's another one called group by. As you take your notes. I think it doesn't make sense to look at group by now. We had rather start by looking at the pipe operator.
So I need to make a request.
Yes.
Oh, just wait. I'm being told that I can't save. I don't know whether that means.
You can't save your work.
Well, I have. Now I have saved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the request I wanted to make is after this, maybe a formal assignment for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just, you don't have to type anything. Just tell me what to do, even by word. Yeah.
Now we'll just look for a data set here, then you try to work with it.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's the best way to work.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that will help me with the practice.
Yeah. We need to practice a lot. It troubled me a lot working. At least I was lucky I did my PhD in it now. I was able to practice it almost every day.
Yeah.
That is one of the complaints that people have about R, that it has a very steep learning curve. Learning it can be a bit hard, because if it was data we are learning for 3-4 lessons, you would be very good in it now.
Yeah.
At least to manipulate the data. But once you learn R, you realize it is much, much more powerful than Stata. By far.
Yeah.
You can't compare them.
Okay.
So there's this group by function. It is for grouping data. Let me just explain it. We are going to look at it later. Okay. It is for grouping data. Maybe you want to take, we have 142 countries in this data set. Maybe you want to group your data by country, then compute the total populations for each country. You see that? So that in this case, you will have 42 totals.
Yeah.
It is used for doing that. So it is simply groups your data into those categories, then you can summarize them.
Yeah.
But we are going to see how it works once we look at the pipe operator, because this is the most important one. A pipe operator is written this way. It's a funny looking symbol. Percentage greater than percentage.
Percentage. Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
In maths, we used to do something like this, remember? Okay, no, it was not x, I'm forgetting now. Y is equals to f of x. Was it like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Or you can simply write it this way, fx, like that. So what the pipe operator does, it takes this x outside, then does it that way. So the two statements are equivalent. F of x and x, then f. What happens, what the pipe operator does, it simply takes this x and puts it as the first argument here.
Okay.
It pipes it to the next, into the next function and presses it as the first argument.
Yeah.
You see that? So that, for example, remember, let us look at our summarize here, the one we did the first one before.
Yeah.
The first one, we wrote it this way, gapminder, then we told it to summarize. Total pop is equals to the sum of population. We can always take this gapminder outside.
Okay.
And write it this way. The two statements are equivalent. Because this pipe is simply going to take this gapminder and put it as the first argument here. And even put that comma. So you don't need to put that comma again here. So the pipe will put the gapminder and a comma. Just try it and see whether it is working and whether it is giving you the same answer.
Let me try it. Gapminder.
So we can just revisit our pipe exercises after you're done with that.
Yeah, so my question now is, why do we need this pipe operator? I mean, I can do the same thing using the summarize command.
Yeah, but you are going to realize now, if you don't have the pipe, you will have a lot of intermediate variables that you are saving.
Yeah.
You have to do this, summarize, save it, then take that variable again, do something to it, save it again. When you could have just piped everything and maybe just created 2 or 3, instead of creating 20 variables, you just create 2 or 3.
Okay.
So this pipeline is very, very important. It saves you a lot so that your environment is not very clogged with a lot of variables that you are creating. Because in most cases, you are not interested in the intermediate variables.
Yeah.
You are interested in the final results. You are going to see how useful it can be for your analysis.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want us to revisit what we did at the beginning.
Yeah.
When we started, we looked at head, names, tail. Remember that?
Yeah.
I just want us to do the same thing now using the pipe.
Okay.
So I'm just copying it and pasting it down here. So that everywhere we are going to do the same thing using the head, and everything we have done so far using the pipe now. I'm sure this one you can do the first one.
Let me see. Using the gap.
The pipe now. The same thing you have written, now use the pipe. Instead of head gap minder, how would you write it using the pipe?
So, do I start with gap minder?
Yeah, you start with the object, yes.
And then the percentage.
And I think there's a shortcut. Let us start with the shortcut. Array enough. I think the shortcut is Control Shift M. Yeah, Control Shift M.
Oh.
Control Shift M for male. Control Shift M. Get used to that because it's a very handy shortcut instead of typing Control Shift M.
Shift M.
Yes. Once you get used to it, you'll be able now to do it very fast.
I was trying to take it down. So Control Shift, and so it's gap minder, Control Shift M, and then do I have head?
Head.
So I have head, and gap minder again?
No. Brackets, just brackets. Head,
yeah,
brackets.
Brackets, yeah, only that.
Yes. Only that.
Only that. Okay.
Is it giving you that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So do the same thing for the other one.
Control Shift M. Tail.
Yeah, you can just do it now up to the end.
Yeah, so I've got string next.
Structure.
And Control Shift M. Structure.
So you see what it is doing? The pipe is simply piping the data to the command.
Minder. Okay.
Can you see the sense now? So the pipe simply pipes, it is like a pipe for water. It is simply piping what is on the left as the first argument to the function on the right.
But what I see on the console, just the same thing I've typed. So, okay, other than the results.
Can you see the results? That's what we are interested in, to see whether you can get the same results using both arguments.
Yeah. Yes, I'm still getting the same results.
Yeah. So what we are practicing here is the pipe, how to use the argument of how the pipe works.
Okay.
it takes whatever is on the left, then puts it as the first argument of the function that is on the right. Yeah. So how did you do this class one? Were you able to combine it properly?
I'm working on it now. So it's Control Shift M class.
So we have to look at this argument. What is this argument doing? The one that is inside. Gapminder, $ country.
So that should give you data. I mean the description for the country rather than for.
So basically, this one is helping you to select the country.
Yeah.
From Gapminder.
Yeah.
And that we did something here with select. Remember? So basically here you can do this. Gapminder, then select country. So you are telling it, take Gapminder, from it select country, then class. So that is the equivalent of that argument up there.
So let me just check again. Gapminder. This looks more complicated.
This one. It is simple. It is not complicated. It's just that now we have had 3 arguments instead of 2. We were having them 2 all along. Yeah.
So let me just Control Enter. Look, just try the following, and let's see where the difference is. Immediately after that, after 107, maybe just try. Where did I do that? I did Gapminder. Control Shift. No, don't put the $. So Control Shift
M.
Yes, and then just put class and the brackets and Control Enter.
That one will give you data frame instead of factor.
It will give you data frame instead of factor, but that's exactly what I'm getting.
Yeah, because we are not interested in the class of Gapminder. That is what we were looking at up here, 104. We are interested in the class of country of the country column in Gapminder.
Okay, so how we did it for the country column is Gapminder, Control Shift M, select country.
Yeah, select country out of that Gapminder. Remember, select is for selecting columns.
Yeah. And then we did another Control Shift M and put class.
Class. This one will give you the class of country now.
Just run it. Let's see what you get.
So what is it giving me now?
It's giving you the data frame.
What's happening? I didn't get that. Class Gapminder country. Let me see what is here. Oh, okay. I get that. Once you select, it is still creating a class again. Oh, it is just creating a data frame of the same thing. Yeah, I get that. Unlike this one creates a vector.
Yeah.
What it does, this one just creates a list of countries.
A vector of countries, yeah.
A vector of countries, but this one creates a table, retains it as a table. That is why it is a data frame.
It's a data frame.
Yeah, that's why it is a data frame, but it is a data frame of countries only.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference between the two. So maybe, how would we go about this? Let me check. Maybe gapminder into brackets country. And then, yeah, I think that is the equivalent now. Gapminder
Okay,
brackets country, so that it is extracted as a vector, then it is piped into class. But that is not important. What is important is how to use the pipe.
yeah.
You see this?
Mm.
Yeah.
So at number 107, are you now using base R or you're still using Tidyverse?
The first part is base R.
Okay.
Then the second part is now the Tidyverse way of doing it.
Yeah.
Simply because we wanted to have the same answer. We wanted to see factor.
Mm.
Yeah. But I think I would like it, I would prefer it this way. Even if it's not giving us the same whatever, this one is more of what I meant by how you can pipe your work.
Yeah.
So in this case, you can have a World Bank dataset that has 50 variables. You just select the 10 you want, then you summarize them by whatever. So we are going to see a lot of usage of this work. So let's copy, what else? Let's copy this select that we were doing here, and let's see how we can do it with the Tidyverse. Select gapminder country. You remember the one we did up there? Let's see how we can do it using the pipe.
Okay.
So we want to rewrite these ones using the pipe.
Okay. So can we say gapminder? Control Shift M. Select country.
Exactly. Exactly. For now, it may not look important, but when you are doing your research now, you realize it's very, very, very handy. The pipe is very, very handy. Yeah.
Okay, then select.
The next one.
Next one was gapminder country year. So let's see. I have gapminder. Control Shift M. Select. Yeah, so it's select country, year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we are simply writing what we are doing now using the pipe.
Yeah.
Remember, the pipe is simply taking the argument on the left and putting it as the first argument to the function on the right. So basically, it is select into brackets gapminder country year. So the pipe is simply piping it that way. Okay. Maybe now we can do the same thing for, what did we do after that? Arrange.
Arrange.
Copy what we did for arrange. put it down here, rewrite it in the using the pipe, then summarize.
Let me look for arrange. Which one? Do I have all of them?
The exercises we did, all of them, yes.
Okay.
We just want to rewrite all of them in using the pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, the pipe is among the most popular functions in R.
Okay.
Yeah, very, very popular. It has made life very easy because you don't have to save 100 variables when you don't really need them.
Yeah.
You just pipe everything and just retain a few variables that you need.
Okay. So Gapminder, Control Shift M, arrange. Arrange. Then we are going to have, in the first case,
maybe mine is a bit different. The first case we arranged by?
It was only population.
By population, exactly, yeah.
So we are going to have population. Yeah, that's done. So we are
Gapminder and then arrange.
And Principe, which is the lowest population.
Pop, yes. Okay. The second one we arranged by?
Second one we arranged by population again, but in descending order.
Oh yeah, the same thing.
Yeah.
So you can always do the same thing.
Arrange. It's descending.
Then arrange. Descending.
Pop. Descending population.
Exactly.
Okay.
Can we try the last one? The one that is like this. Let me just write mine here. Range, Gapminder, population, and year. We want to arrange it by population and year. Let us rewrite it using the pipe.
Population
and year.
Yeah.
So it's the same argument that we were having.
Yeah.
So how is it like?
Yeah,
Gapminder?
It's Gapminder, and then
arrange
pipe function, then arrange pop, y, year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah, so that sense is coming up. Eh? And I'm sure you can do this one later on for summarize. It's the same argument.
Yeah.
Just take the Gapminder outside. And that is it.
So it's Gapminder.
So that now.
Yeah.
So I want us to do this. Let us get the Gapminder data set. Arrange. No. Select. Let me not just give it away. Pick country and year. Then pick countries in Asia. Let's do that now. That's a simple exercise. Now, let us use the pipe. We want to get the Gapminder dataset. Pick country and year, those two variables only. Now, let us also put continent. It will not work without continent. Country, year, and continent. Country, year, and continent. Then pick countries in Asia only. So start with Gapminder.
We start with Gapminder.
Then pick country, year, and continent variables.
Oh, country, continent, and year. Those were columns, right?
Those are columns.
Yeah, so that was select.
Select, exactly.
Okay.
So you put a pipe, select.
Yeah.
Country,
Select.
year.
Year, continent.
Then we want to pick only those countries in Asia. I think that's how they have written it.
So again, you select.
Only those countries in Asia, yes, Asia. They have written it as Asia. So remember, that Asia is contained in the column continent, so you cannot use select. Select is only for picking columns.
Oh, yeah.
How do you pick rows? Out of those
I'm trying
columns.
to remember that command. Just give me a moment.
Yeah.
There was a command that we used.
Yeah, you can always check it because it takes time to get used to them. You may not recall them right away.
Yeah.
You can always refer to the.
I made a note. Filter, right?
Filter, exactly.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm forgetting this, given that
No.
reminds me of
You are even
Excel.
trying. You are trying. It takes time to get used to it because it's just like the first time. Yeah.
So filter. Can I use continent?
Exactly. We want the continent that is Asia.
$sign
Countries in
Asia.
Asia. Yeah. Continent.
$sign Asia.
No, equals.
Equals. Okay.
Two equal sign together.
Okay.
Then into quotation marks Asia.
Quotation marks.
Let's see what will come out of it once you enter it.
So it's not giving me much, except it's saying Gapminder. Okay, you see what I've done? I didn't do it the way you've done. So let me just do what you've done and see.
Oh, putting the spacing.
No. I created a new command instead of combining it together with the existing command. Yeah.
Yeah, this is why I want us to use the pipe now. Get used to using the pipe. Use the then select country year, then filter.
I'm getting an error, but let me see what's the matter.
Maybe a comma somewhere.
Maybe.
It must be a small thing. It's not usually a big thing.
can't seem to find the problem now.
Okay, let's go together. Gapminder. Is there a spelling mistake somewhere? And then select country, comma, year, comma, continent, close the brackets.
Yeah.
And then filter, continent is equals Asia.
That seems to me like what I have exactly.
Do you have two equal sign here? And equals.
Oh, wait, is continent lower? Yeah, it's all lowercase.
Yeah, it must be a spelling mistake. It is small lowercase. It is all lowercase in my case.
Yeah, it's lowercase. Even for me. I don't know. Maybe I'll write it again.
Yeah, just write it again.
Select country. Yeah. Continent. Filter. Yeah, now it's working, but I don't know.
It must have been a small thing. Those things you always get. Maybe a comma was missing somewhere, something very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So this is the importance of stringing together. You saw in your case, instead of creating 3 variables, you could create just one. In this case, you wanted to have one variable for selecting, you save it. Then another one for filtering, you save it. Sometimes you write those variable names until you don't know which one is which.
Yeah.
So it's better to pipe it, just clean your data as you go and keep what is necessary. In the next exercise now, we are going to see how to go further with this. Can you try and go as far as you can, especially the first 2 parts, you should be able to do them.
So select variable country.
Year and continent. So start with Gapminder, of course.
Continent.
And it is always important now to put these spaces. Can you see the way I'm indenting them now? Instead of writing it as one straight line, go indenting it so that it is more readable, more legible.
So the one is saying I must start with the first one. Gapminder.
Yes, that is the data set we are working with.
Select variable by country. That's already what we have done there.
Yeah, that's what we have done up there.
Yeah. Then we want for 2007 only.
Only, yes.
So
this year we wanted 207 only.
I put 207 is a column or a row?
No, it is part of the year. It is part of the data. Year has I think from 1950 up to 2007.
Oh yeah, so it's
207 is just an entry within year.
Yeah, so it's filter year.
Yes.
Is equal to 207.
Equals. I want it. You can put it in quotation marks. Huh?
I put it without, and it's working.
It should work. Usually but remember, if it is character values, you must put them in quotation marks.
Yeah.
Then in this case, we want to group by continent. We want to group our data by continent. So you simply write that.
Okay.
It does nothing. You won't see anything happening on your data. But under the hood, it has taken your data and grouped it into continents. So nothing. Group by does not do something that you will see. But it will take now data for Africa, put it together, Asia together, Americas together, and so on. So the last bit, you can do it. Get the sum of the populations.
Okay.
Which function does that?
Just before, okay, there's something I missed. Let me try again. Okay, so you said what must I do last?
The last statement, get the populations, the total populations, the sum of populations. We have already done that. Which variable is used for doing those things? The one we did last year?
Summarize.
Summarize, exactly.
Yeah. You can use summarize.
What do you want to do to the populations? The totals.
Can we use mean? Okay. Total. Yeah.
You can call it any name you want.
So there's something here that I'm struggling with. Just wait. Yeah, it's sorted. So summarize.
Okay. You can just directly what you want. Sum population.
Population.
Sum population. It is pop. It is written pop in our variable there. But to make it more legible, you can just give it a name. You can call it like total pop is equals to sum population. Then enter.
Error, let me just check.
Object pop not found. Oh, I get the problem. I get the problem we had. You know the problem where it is? You see the reason why we are getting that error. It's because when you are selecting, look at the select function.
Yeah.
We did not select population. So we are adding something that does not exist. Okay. You get that? Yeah, because we just took gaminder, then selected everything else except population.
Except population.
Then we are telling it to assign population that it doesn't understand.
Yeah.
So just add population up there.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah, it works.
You see?
Yeah.
So can you see now what group by does? It simply takes your data group set by whatever you are telling it. Then when it is doing an operation, it is going to do an operation group by group.
Yeah, so Africa, Americas, Asia, Europe, Oceania.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, we can go further and arrange this data. Then arrange by what the variable we created here. It is total pop. Remember, we have created a new variable there. We called it total pop, which is the sum of the population.
Okay, in ascending order. So if you like, you can also make it descending order.
Make it by putting descend just before the total pop. I don't. Can you see the importance now of the pipe? In this case, we would have saved.
Yeah.
But now we have only one. If you are going to save, you can only save one variable. So you can clean your data in one piece of code, all of it.
So what is the name of the
Then from there, you
variable?
just go and model. Yes?
The variable that we are going to save this under, what is its name?
No, you can always create your name here. Maybe you can call it my clean data. Can you see where I'm typing?
Yeah.
You can always give it any name you want.
Oh, yeah.
You see?
I can do that.
So now instead of having so many other variables in between, you only have one. You don't have to have so many. That's the mistake I was doing when I was learning R at the beginning. You create so many variables until you don't remember which one was standing for what. But with the pipe now, you only save what is very relevant.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that should make your life easier.
It makes life very, very easy. Yeah, especially like for my data set now, I realize now at the end of the day, I was cleaning it in one step. You just get your data, clean it, you interpolate it using the pipe. When you are saving it, you are saving clean data set. From there, you are just running regressions. You don't save anything in between. Otherwise, it becomes very messy. So that you save the minimum number of variables possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So lastly, you can also use it for doing graphs. For example, now we can say now my clean data. And then ggplot. You remember the ggplot we were doing last time? You say aesthetic, pop, color is equals to is that what we were getting up here? Continent, color is continent. I think it should work like that. I want X to be continent, Y to be total population, color to be continent, plus geom. I think geom code is the one that will do. So just have a look at what I have done. Instead of, remember before that we were saying ggplot, you start with the data first. But we have said the pipe can help you do that. The pipe simply pipes it to the first element. So before the aesthetic, that is where the data will be placed.
Yeah.
So yours is just to put the aesthetic, the brackets, X is continent, Y is total population, color is continent, field is continent, plus geom call. So if you zoom that, you'll have a very nice graph.
Let's see.
Make sure the brackets are right. Make sure the brackets are right.
Okay. Okay. Now, where there's supposed to be a graph, I'm seeing a blank space.
Are you following what I have
Oh,
written here?
the graph is
Have
there.
you added
Yeah.
the plus geom call?
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, you can see the
Yeah.
graph now. Yeah.
It's there. And it's there with a legend.
A legend, you can always remove that legend everywhere, but the most important thing is to get the basics of how to draw it. You can even arrange it in ascending order from the most populars to the least populars.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see this is 2007 now, so you can change a lot of things. Even the numbers on the y-axis, they are in scientific notation. You can always write them in proper numbers.
Okay.
Yeah, but what is important now is to be able to get this bigger picture now. The nitty-gritties now will come later. Yeah. So I think that's what I had for today. I think even going beyond that, it is already too much for
one day.
For that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I've got to find a way to practice. So
Practicing
did you
is
say
the
I can
problem.
use any set of data?
Yeah.
Okay.
Practicing is what will help you get this thing properly. And maybe if you have a paper you are writing, we can always set it up in.
There's a paper I'm writing, but where I've reached, I need to run a regression, but I think we need to move step by step.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so let me practice with this. I build confidence.
Yeah.
Then I can do the regression. I want to do some quantile on quantile regression.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one will do very well. R will do it very well. But in future, you'll be writing your paper here. Everything will be on R Markdown. So your data, so that you can give somebody your data set. They can see the code you ran. They can rerun it. Everything.
Yeah.
They can go step by step.
Yeah.
Instead of having code separately and the text separate, and you're importing graphs, you don't have to do that.
That's my aim, ultimately.
Yeah. And I think we should start introducing R Markdown in the next lesson because it's not a big deal. It's not. It's quite easy. Yeah. Because most of it, 80% of it is just text, formatting text, which is a very easy task. Yeah, then we'll see how to, instead of writing our code on a script, then we write it on the R Markdown like that.
Oh, so it becomes part of your paper, right?
Yeah, the code becomes part of the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll start introducing it slowly now the next lesson.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, look, can you just give me something to do? I'll type it as you say. So a group or a use.
For this data set that we have.
Yeah, for the data set that we have here.
Okay. Let me, because I had not. Yeah. So maybe we can just. You can select a few countries, select country and year. So pick where country is of
Africa.
Is it Afghanistan? You can see it, it's the first one there. If you put head.
Yeah.
Afghanistan. And which other one? Let
Yeah,
us
no, I
talk
thought
about
you were continuing because I want to put this. Yeah.
Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Afghanistan. Yeah.
Then I want you to group by country. Compute. It may not make sense, but it is just an exercise. The mean population. Mean population over the years.
Okay. So there are commands that we have used like arrange, like summarize, how that is tested.
Yeah.
The other function we have used filter and select. Also select is tested now. Yeah. So there's filter, there's select, there's arrange, there's summarize. And then I need also to use the pipe operator.
Yeah, just the best thing is to use the pipe operator so that you don't have to write so many variables and save them.
Yeah.
But it is always important to know that what the pipe does, that you can always write the arrange this way, the way it is written here. Arrange the data set you want to arrange and the variable you want to arrange by.
Yeah.
But you can always rewrite it this way, gapminder, then arrange by population. So that pipe is read as then. Read it as then. Yeah. So gapminder then, arrange that gapminder by population.
Yeah.
Here it is gapminder, then from that gapminder select country. So once you get that in your mind, it will be much easier to remember what it's all about.
Yeah.
So this other one is plot a graph here on y-axis. Is it like that? Let me say here, I want to see what I want to talk about here. Select country, year, and population. Year on the y-axis. No. Year on the x-axis. Population on y-axis. Color by country. And do a geom line. So again, try and use the pipe, because the pipe, you have seen what we have done here. We could have even combined these two. It was not necessary to save it like this. You could have just combined the two. You summarize your data, select the variables you want, summarize it, then draw a graph directly without having to save anything. But in our case, we chose to save the data first. Then we picked that data again and used it to plot. But we could have just done it at once. Get the data, then pipe it directly into the graphing function. Yeah, but the best thing is that as you filter, when you're selecting country and year, you run it first, see whether it is running. Then when you are filtering countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan, run it again. Yeah, you keep running it that way. So don't write a whole line of code and you don't know whether the earlier ones are running. So just do it bit by bit. And something else you must remember, when doing ggplot, we use plus, because ggplot was created before the pipe was around. That's why we use plus. If you look at this one here, we are still using plus. ggplot was creating, the pipe came much later. So ggplot was using pipe, but you can always pipe the data in. But after you start using ggplot now, everything else is a plus. And I think I should send you this piece of code.
Which code?
The one I'm typing. I mean the code I was working on.
Okay.
So that you can compare notes, So just practice a lot and be patient. It takes some time. Getting R, that's a big major problem. That's why everybody doesn't. Most people don't want to deal with it because it takes some time to learn. But once you learn it, you realize it is worth the effort. It's very, very good.
Yeah. Well, in my case, I don't think I have much choice. I've got to know it.
Yeah, at least it's quite good. It's quite good.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's all I had for today. It's already 10 here.
Oh yeah, I see. It's almost 9:30 here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so grateful.
Yeah, we'll organize the next class. Next class, we can just start introducing R Markdown slowly by slowly. It's a simple software, not very difficult, that one. Yeah, what is not very easy to catch is what we are doing now. But once you get it, it also becomes very, very, very nice.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So thanks a lot.
Many thanks. I appreciate it.
Great.
Yeah.
So see you next week, hopefully.
Yeah, see you.
Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have a good night.